I'm not there. The second he gets home, then someone else is going to tell him about it, and then that would be horrible.
Hello. I want to start PREPTOBER. So, you probably clicked on this video because you want some PREPTOBER content. Because yeah, I finished kind of my other prep work for PREPTOBER, and I really want to get down pat what I want to write during NaNoWriMo, since writing the actual novel is always the hardest part for me. Planning and world building and characters and everything like that, I always love. I love doing those things. I don't have to convince myself to do them. Writing, I can get about 30 pages in, but then I want to scrap everything because I want to change everything about the story. So this is probably the most intensive prep work I've done for my main debut novel that I've worked on for forever. It was fun though, because while I was home, I couldn't find all of my writing. I know I have a lot more writing somewhere, but to be honest, my room kind of turned into storage, and because of that, it was hard to find anything in there while I was busy, helping my sister with her wedding and everything. So, but that's besides the point. I did find a little bit of some snippets of my writing and whatnot. Not like my old high school writing though, probably a couple years back. Not that old of stuff, to be honest. So anyways, even from that, I can see how the ideas for my story completely evolved. And to be honest, I'm going to be taking some words and names and titles that I actually came up with in my journal that I wrote in there, and probably adding them into my story, because I need some help with that, if I'm being honest. But overall, ideas are pretty set. It's just fine details. Oh God. I'm so sorry if you just saw me spit. I'm trying to project so the phone can hear me, and there's an echo in here. So anyways, I'm trying to refine tiny details like that. I know they won't be completely done. I might have to refine them after I do my first draft, but I'm trying to not let that hold me back from writing the first draft. So anywho, I got a bunch of writing craft books I had at home, which is why I hadn't bought any while I was here, because I was like, I know I have a bunch at home. So I got those, got some little, journals and stuff like that. And yeah, so I feel like now I'm really ready for PREPTOBER, and it'll be nice because honestly, October is my birthday month, so I'm like, yes. I have an excuse to just be like, no, I want to write today, leave me alone. And no one can tell me otherwise. So anyways, yeah, so I'm getting started. I did a little bit of plotting earlier today, but I felt like I was looking pretty much a mess, so I didn't want to record myself yet. So anywho, I kind of have a station set up at the kitchen island, because I just wanted a break from my computer. Since I got the Chromebook, it's been kind of nice because, like I said, the whole point of me getting it was that it limits me to what I'm doing on it. The computer, I always get distracted. The Chromebook, it has very little processing power, and I don't even want to do image downloads, so I don't even want to do vision boards or anything or doing any of that stuff. It's strictly writing on there, which is kind of nice. So maybe tomorrow or the day after, since I'm off of work, I might hop on the PC and do some more vision board stuff and visualizations and whatnot. But for now, strictly plotting. And then the other question is, I have a basic plot line. I actually use the Moresi plot structure, which is, I don't know if anyone watches her. She's one of the original authortube people I watched for forever. I have at least I've been watching it for probably 7 years, to be honest. Her name's Jenna Moresi. I'll link her in the description if need be. But I used her plot structure because I actually got her writing craft book, and I really like it because she's kind of straight to the point. She doesn't put a lot of frills or anything like that, which is nice. And her plot structure is very specific. It's not as broad as the 3-act structure and stuff like that. Hi, Pixel. She's saying hello. Yeah, so I guess I'm debating if I want to do a chapter outline or not. I feel like originally I wanted to do a chapter outline, but it seems a little overwhelming. But I think I do want to have an omniscient writing perspective. So because of that, it might be smart to do chapter outline. So we'll see how deep I get into this Preptober video or not. But for now, I have my basic plot structure. Might add a few more details. I need to do my subplots and tie those in with my main plot for sure. And then I might be able to do a chapter outline. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But anywho, yeah, let's get to it. Okay, bye. A few days. I'm gonna give you kind of a recap. I've filmed some clips over the past few days, but not a ton to be honest, but feel like I'm making progress. Over the past few days though, I've been working on, I guess, essentially Preptober. It's a little early for Preptober, but I have pretty much a detailed outline, but with that, I feel like I am happy that I'm trying to do a chapter by chapter outline, only because it's giving me a better sense of what POV, point of view, I want to do for my book. Because originally I was thinking, okay, maybe I want to do a multi-POV. And I feel like a multi-POV is not smart to do for like your first book ever, because I'm already doing the outline. I've only outlined maybe like 10 chapters. And I'm coming to realize where I'm just kind of like, the reason why I wanted the multi-POV was really I wanted this one specific character's point of view who isn't the main character, right? And then the other one was going to be essentially like the love interest. So only 3. I debated doing 4, but even then I felt like the 4th one in this book doesn't play a big enough role that it would really matter in the story or really add to the story at all. And now that I'm doing the chapter outline with 3 POVs, I'm like, I feel like that 3rd POV isn't adding enough. And then even then, I almost feel like I should just do it from my MC's point of view, because even the 2nd point of view, again, I just feel like maybe it's not adding enough. I'm sure I'm torn, because obviously like a lot of romances, and typically like not fantasy romances though, but I feel like romances do dual POV really well, because you kind of want to see both sides. But I almost feel like there's a lot of internal conflict in my story, and because there's so much internal conflict, maybe it's nice to not see the others' POVs so that you can really see and feel the main characters. internal conflicts and external conflicts more close to home. Even just doing the outline, I feel like I'm drawing so far away from my main character that it's not going to hit the same than if I just do it from my main character's point of view. Like, I was kind of looking through, like, ACOTAR. ACOTAR was the first book I read, like, a couple of years ago that got me back into reading. I know, like, everyone says that, to be honest, but I don't own a ton of physical books, and because of that, I wasn't going to go buy more books to study or anything like that, so I was doing ACOTAR, is it Cersei? Is that how you pronounce it? I'm drawing a blank right now. And then there was one other book that I grabbed, but mostly I've been focusing on ACOTAR, and the thing I don't like about ACOTAR though is I think I do really want to do third person. ACOTAR is actually written in first person, and I'm surprised that it's so popular because I know I watch a bunch of BookTube, and because of that, I know a lot of people prefer third person to first person, just reading it, because the experience is a little bit more immersive like that. And I don't know, the I never bothered me. And back when I wrote in high school, I wrote I wrote first person point of view because I feel like as a beginner, first person is much easier. Third person, I feel that's when you run into when people talk about filler and stuff like that. And then I almost did Omniscient, and I have another book. I have a craft book here. Hang on. This. So yeah, so when I went home for my sister's wedding, like I said, I wanted to bring back some books, and they were pretty much all writing craft books. I have like 5 of them, and they're all on specific things, and I really, while I was here, did not want to buy more craft books because I had so many craft books back home. And obviously you can tell I took like a really large break from writing since I moved all the way out here, and I still hadn't, felt the need for them very much. But anyway, so I had marked in here, points of view. And anyway, so I'm reading through. They have a section on first person, third person, and omniscient. And what's interesting? I guess I hadn't really thought about it, but omniscient, it is different from third person in that omniscient is almost like another character. It means that your narrator is kind of like its own character. It kind of has its own voice and everything like that. Like, you'll notice that kind of in like Jane Austen books and whatnot. They like know things already. They say things already. They like have opinions on things. And I realized I don't even want omniscient because I don't want my narrator to be a character. I generally want it to be observing my characters and saying the things that are happening to my characters. So anyway, so pretty sure I want to do third person. I don't think I want to cut down to one POV first person, but I think, I don't know, I might have to redo the outline. So anyway, so that's why I'm happy I'm doing Preptober, because I would have hated myself had I gone in blind. Like, not blind, obviously I have an outline, but if I had gone in thinking I wanted the POV to be a certain way and I started writing it, I feel like, one, it would have either felt off the entire time I was writing it, or I would have had to have tossed it all out and restarted from the beginning in a totally different viewpoint because I didn't think it through to begin with. And it seems like something that everyone just knows, like, right off the bat. No one talks about POV really. Yeah, so that's my hang up right now. So anyways, I'm glad that I'm doing it. I'm still gonna finish out, I'm kind of doing like 3 versions of it. So I'm doing a chapter outline with the third person multi-POV, and then I'll probably do a third person dual POV, and then maybe I'll do 4, maybe I'll do one that does third person 1 POV and then a first person 1 POV. But I have a feeling I'm still gonna stick with third person because I don't know if I like the idea of being so directly in the character's head. You know what I mean? So anyways, that was a rant, but that's where I'm at right now. So really think about it. If you don't know the point of view you want to write for NaNoWriMo, think about it before NaNoWriMo starts. if all you hear is wind right now. It's actually really nice out today. It's like 60, so if I hadn't just finished at the gym, I'd be like really cold right now. But yeah, so stuck to my schedule today. Finished up early, walking home, and then we'll see what I can work on before I go to work, because I've also been trying to put in overtime this week, so I'll have to go in at 4 or 5. I just haven't decided which one yet, so yeah, see you in a second. So it is the end of my day. As you can tell, I did not record any clips earlier because I did not do any writing earlier. I think tomorrow I will, but it's just I made my gym days of this week 3 days in a row, and then I'm trying to go in early to get overtime at work too, so I'm kind of cutting it a little tight as far as like decompressing a bit before I have to go to work. So I think tomorrow I'll be in a little bit better of a headspace to do some writing. I've been really exhausted after the gym lately, which I know that's like obviously right. If you go to the gym, you're exhausted, but I am trying to put my health first versus writing, but writing is still a very, very high priority for me, other than obviously making money to pay my bills. But everyone gets it. Everyone got stuff they got to do. So yeah, so anyway, so I think tomorrow I'll do some more writing, but for now I just got off work, did my skincare, I'm all shiny. Yeah, so I was thinking about hopping on the laptop for a bit. Regardless, I'll see you later. Okay, so just a little update. Obviously, I feel like I fill my days too much with other non-writing things, but at work, so I don't necessarily watch YouTube, but I listen to a lot of YouTube, and because of that, last night I decided to focus on listening to some videos on point of view. I know the last update I gave you, obviously, I was trying to debate point of view. Pretty much I'm set on third person. It's technically third person limited, like omniscient. It just depends on how you want to phrase it. Omniscient is technically third person point of view written, but choosing on if you want it close / limited or far / all-knowing, basically. So I've decided I'm going to do third person. It is technically omniscient. And now I'm just debating on if I want multi-POV or single POV. So I'm still working on the outline of the multi-POV, because I think what I need to do is I almost need to write a few more chapters for my female main character, just so I can make it distinct that she is the main character, that she is the protagonist of my story. I don't want her to get drowned in a multi-POV. So I'm thinking maybe that's what the issue is of me outlining this multi-POV. It feels weird, but I'm gonna try to do that when I go back and start working on the multi-POV again. And then I'm gonna try to do a dual POV and see if I like that, and then a single POV, and see which outline I like the best. So I'll let you know how that goes. Okay, I hope this angle is okay. But hello, just a little update. By now you should have seen all of my clips of us visiting Anoka. It's the national capital of Halloween. It didn't look too Halloween yet there, to be honest. It was our first time visiting. But anywho, it is the first week of October, so what did I expect? But anyways, so I just dropped off my significant other at work, and he is working a very short shift. So right now I'm going to run some errands, and then I'm blanking, and then get a few grocery things and just hang out in the same area so I don't waste gas, fill up the tank, and then pick them up in a few hours. So tonight I think I'm going to relax. Depending on how late I stay up, I might do some more outlining, but regardless, tomorrow I have kind of freed up my whole day. I didn't schedule gym. I haven't scheduled anything else since I'm doing grocery shopping today. I won't even need the car, so I'll just be at home writing. Just a tiny update. So today is supposed to be my writing day. Honestly, I ended up doing a lot of finishing up for my YouTube, but I did post my first YouTube video as of this vlog. Not really, since you'll see it later. Sorry, Pixel is hitting the stand for my phone. But anyways, so now the rest of the night I want to do some writing. So I think since I'm picking up my boyfriend from work later, I'm gonna go to either Starbucks or Barnes & Noble and do some writing there just so I can focus. I always feel kind of distracted at home. I don't know why. Maybe just because I'm always thinking of other things I could do. Hence, I ended up doing YouTube stuff when I told myself I'd only be doing writing. But anyways, and I think I'll for sure be able to finish up maybe one version of the outline. And honestly, once I finish one version of the outline, I think it'll be a lot easier to make my secondary version of the chapter outline. So let's get that done. Can I just say what an undertaking a chapter outline is? I want this to serve as a warning to anyone going into outlining their chapters for their writing, because seriously, okay, if you are doing a fantasy, a sci-fi, anything that typically requires a longer book, therefore more chapters, a chapter outline is pretty daunting. And of course this depends on how detailed you make your chapter outline. I feel like I'm making mine detailed enough to where I know exactly what's happening in each chapter, but obviously I'm not writing the chapter, right? I'm leaving a lot out, which is, when you think about it, sitting down just outlining, it's a long time of outlining. But don't get me wrong, I've actually really liked it because you kind of see the story shape itself, right? And then you kind of get an overhead view of if the plot even makes sense on paper. I haven't finished the last, basically Act 3. I completed Act 1, I completed Act 2. Act 2 is always the longest because it has like all of your blunders and soggy middle, however you want to put it, however you feel about the middle of your book. But it obviously took me the longest. I mean, you know, I go from a page that's like, you know, you see your Act 1, you're like, all right, this long. Then you get to Act 2 and you're like, okay, this long. And I haven't even finished Act 3, but to be honest, I feel that my Act 3 is a lot more straightforward than figuring out exactly the events that I wanted to put in Act 2. And I really, really wanted to outline Act 2 mostly because it is soggy middle. It is like the hardest thing to write. And if I have a really strong outline for Act 2, then I know exactly what's going to make it into the story, what's not really going to make it into the story, more or less. And then, again, the flow of how the plot is going to go. So I really like doing it, to be honest. I think I might do another version where I kind of, you know how people, they'll do the sticky notes on like the wall and stuff of their chapters or scenes. I kind of want to do that, but a Notion version, like use the gallery outlay and do, you know, a gallery post for each chapter. And then once I click it, put a tad more detail, because I think I want to add, and not only the events that are going to transpire, but sort of like how each character's arc is going to be affected within that chapter, if there is something that affects their character arc within that chapter. It has taken longer than I expected, and to be honest, my next vlog might also just kind of be a continuation of it. Like I said, if I decide to do the little sticky note version of my chapter outline, but it's been really nice. I've liked it a lot. It's kind of gotten me stoked to write in November, and this is me prepping to write in November, and I'm really excited. And honestly, I've learned a lot more about why no one's talking about NaNoWriMo really, since this was going to be my first one this year, but I've looked into that, and maybe I'll address that in my next video, the little bit of tea that's with that. But anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and end this vlog here, because I feel like personally I've made a lot of progress, and I think as far as maybe letting you peek at my Notion, I'll do that in the next vlog. So stick around, hopefully you watch that. If you're interested in me prepping to write my story, check out my vlogs before this. I should have 2 up before this, a world building and a character creation vlog. So yeah, so thanks for being here. I really appreciate it, and see you later.